Yo, it's me. It's the SCOTT, and I'm back with you today to give you my review of the 2011 2012 film Prometheus. Prometheus. Can I have it? Okay, I'll just do that. I was trying to do it so that the Prometheus. Okay, so before I really get started, I'm going to defend this movie. This and Alien Covenant, because a lot of people seem to be pissed because these don't directly connect to Alien, and they wanted more Alien movies, and that's not what they gave us. So I'm gonna come to the defense of this movie. Ridley Scott set out to direct a movie set within the same universe as Alien, in the earliest point in the timeline. Okay? Now, you can sit there and say, well, that means it's a prequel. Yes, but no. See, it's a film set at the earliest point in the Alien franchise timeline. But that does not mean it should have to connect directly with the original film. Think of it as a prequel spin-off. Something that happened in the same universe at a different point in time that may eventually have something to do with what happened in the movie Alien. Ridley Scott decided to go back and give us a film that was focused on the origin of the space jockey that we saw in the first film. Now, what he gave us as an explanation, I think is fine. And I don't hate this movie. I don't hate this. I don't hate Covenant. I think they're good movies. And I watch them for what they are. So, the film has this crew of the ship Prometheus, and they're in hypersleep, much like the people from the first movie. Now, one difference I'd like to say is David, played by Michael Fassbender, is the android in this film, and he's allowed to be outside of the hypersleep. But Ash, in the original film, was also an android, a synthetic, and he went into hypersleep with them. Now, there's two ways to look at this. They didn't know he was a synthetic, and they weren't supposed to know, so he had to go into hypersleep with him. But the most logical answer is, if he doesn't go into hypersleep, there's no twist. So, they had to put him in hypersleep in the original. Here, they're not going to do a twist with. Hold on. Looks like a storm. Here, back to what I was saying. Here, they weren't going for a twist with David. That's in the next one. So let me run through the cast quick that I can remember. There's Rafe Spall, Naomi Rapace, Logan Marshall Green, Michael Fassbender, Idris Elba, Charlize Theron, a couple other actors who I don't know, and Guy Pearce, who plays Peter Wayland, who they decided to put in old person makeup. There was a reason for that, and then they didn't go through with it. Originally, Max von Sydow was going to play the role of Peter Weyland, but they decided to bring in Guy Pearce because they could film younger scenes with him that they eventually just cut out of the film. So you could have just had Max von Sydow in the movie, but you didn't, and now you have a ridiculously ridiculous looking Guy Pearce, who supposedly died before this trip happened. And we'll get to that. There is a twist, but it's kind of just meh. So what I should say is that Shaw is played by Noomi Rapace, and she's the main character. She's in a relationship with Logan Marshall Green's character, whose name I can't remember for some goddamn reason. And they're the ones that concocted this trip. They found some weird cave painting thing in Scotland that's old as hell, even though it doesn't make sense because it'd be covered in ice back at that point, but who knows. Anyway, and it gave them coordinates to come to this planet that they're on, which I don't know the name of, whatever, P, Dex, F, or R, whatever. And to find the answer to life. They think that these giant people, which they call engineers, are responsible for creating human life. And the beginning of this film starts one of the engineers in his diaper. Yes, I'm going to call it that. And he's drinking, he disrobes himself on top of a waterfall, drinks this black goo, gets infected, and it comes down and it shows the title card, Creating Life. So we're supposed to believe that these engineers created life, because they engineered life. That's why they're called that. But then that negates the idea of evolution and monkeys and everything. So, I don't know. But, so they decide they're going to investigate. Now, one question I have here. What, again, it's David. Why, when they go out to investigate the planet, they wear the life support suits, right? Why does David wear one? He's an android. He doesn't have to wear one, but he still wears one. Why? Why? He's a synthetic. He does not need to wear one. Why does he wear one? It makes no sense to me. It doesn't. Oh. And I will say that you have a lot of actors in this movie that don't do anything. Also, Benedict Wong, who plays Wong in Doctor Strange, he's in this. He doesn't do anything. Idris Elba's in this film. He doesn't do anything. There are two scientists who get attacked by the thing because... So they go to investigate this cave. And they find that David is very smart, I guess, because he figures out how to put some things in, and he's creates a hologram that shows that these engineers were running from something, and one of them ended up getting his head chopped off from the door. And then so they go to where the door is, they open it, they find the head, they take the head back, and two of the guys, Fifield and I don't know the other one, they left before them, and when they get back, they still haven't made it back because they're lost, because we need to have characters get attacked by stuff that isn't xenomorph related or anything. But this little thing that looks like a dick pops up, pops out, and it's not a face hugger, it's a, how did Decker Shadow put that? Throat fucker. Yes, I'm only borrowing it, you can have it back. But anyway, down his throat, no chest bursting, nothing, and there's acid, it has acid blood, even though I don't think chest bursters had acid blood. I don't know. Ridley Scott, it's your own name! Ridley Scott did not want to do an alien film. It was set in the same continuity, sort of, same universe. And that's why you don't get a direct xenomorph in this film. And I can accept that. So, while they're there, David picks up this little thing that has a bunch of black goo in it, and he freezes it so it doesn't burst out, and he takes it back to him to experiment. They don't see this apparently, and so David is experimenting with this, and he finds the black goo, and his idea is to poison one of the crew members. So he finds Holloway. That's the other guy. That's Logan Marshall Green's character, Holloway. And he puts it in his champagne. And here's the thing. Holloway is acting as if they failed. Not really. Not completely. They found proof of other life. Proof that there was life before them. Proof that they could have created humans. It's very possible. Very, very possible. So, but he's wallowing. And so he drinks whatever. And then Shaw shows him what she found. That there is human DNA in there. It's centuries old, but it's human DNA. So they decide to get it on. And before this, though, she tells him that she's barren and cannot have children. The only reason why they put that in there is so they can have the reveal later that she's pregnant. And it's not even necessary to say she couldn't have kids, because it really just doesn't make any sense. Like, she can't have kids, but some alien creature inside her, made from black goo, can make her have kids. It doesn't... Procreation doesn't work that way? I don't know. I'm not an expert at women. Why do you think I'm single? Anyways, so after her boyfriend is murdered, because she starts to freak out later and turn and everything, and then Fifield shows up and he gets murdered with a flamethrower. The other guy gets murdered with a flamethrower. She passes out. She's taken in, and she's, she's told by David that she's pregnant. She's like, what? She's yelling at him, get it out of me! Get it out of me! This is after he removes a cross from around her neck. Anyway, by the way, I should mention... we'll get to it. So... So she takes it upon herself to go... Earlier in the film, they find out that Vickers, that's Charlize Theron's character, she's like in charge. She has her own medical thing that can detach from the main ship. And she goes in there and she wants to get a cesarean, a C-section. And the voice says that it's not equipped for human physiology, for women, female physiology. And I wonder why that is. Twist, maybe? Because if you think about it, why does Vickers have it then? If it's only equipped for male physiology. But she's able to get it out, and out comes... Well, Tommy Lee Jones, you want to take this? Congratulations. It's a squid. Yes, a little squid comes out. It's called a trilobite, I guess. And she freezes the thing and leaves it in that area, and then staples her stomach back together. And stumbles onto Peter Whalen, apparently still alive, and David knew about it. And maybe Vickers, I don't know, and we find out that she's Vickers' father. He is Vickers' father. Sorry. She is Whalen's daughter. That's what I'm trying to say. She is Whalen's daughter. Vickers is Whalen's daughter. And they discover that David discovered that one of the engineers is still alive, so they go back to the cave. They take Shaw with them for some reason. And they try to talk to the engineer, but he rips David's head off and beats Whalen with it to death. And then Vickers and Shaw try to make it back to the ship. And they find out that the engineer is going to take his ship, go to Earth, and kill everyone on it. Why? Well, you see, they don't give an excuse for it. But in the original script, it was revealed that they sent an engineer to Earth over 2,000 years earlier. It was Jesus. And I don't need to go any further with that story. You know where that story ended. And that would give a good reason why they want to kill the humans. Jesus Christ! Where was I now? Anyway, so yeah, that was the original script, and they took it out because the various reasons. I think some people would be more pissed at this movie if they left it in. So they tell Janek, who is played by Idris Elba, that's his character, that they need to stop that ship. So Janek's last thing is take him and the last two members of the crew that are still alive on the ship and ram the thing, which kills all three of them, and then stops the engineer. And the engineer, I think, dies. The engineer follows Shaw back to when the thing falls, the girls decide they're going to run in a straight line. And this kills Vickers, but Shaw's able to, stray away from the line, from the straight line. And I'm still a little shook from that, I'm sorry. Anyway, so Shaw goes back to the medical thing, and she's followed by, she finds out that her little trilobite baby is now huge. Giant, facehugger-like creature. And, the engineer has followed her, but she opens the thing, and the trilobite grabs him and pulls him in, and attacks him, killing him. And so, as she's running out of air and stuff, and she gets communication from David, who tells her that he knows there's more ships and he can get them out of there. So she goes to scoop him up. They get in one of the engineer's ships, and he says they can fly them back to Earth. And she says, no, I want to go to the engineer's planet. So that's where they're heading, which is not where Alien Covenant picks up. But Ridley Scott has discussed, originally, before the Disney-Fox merger, Ridley Scott had planned to do a film that came after Alien Covenant, but also one that come between Prometheus and Alien Covenant. Why he didn't just do that. He started out with that and decided to write what became Alien Covenant, which I don't think is that bad of a film either, and this movie's not bad either. The one thing that confuses me, it's raining now. Why did David dye his hair blonde? I don't know, it's confusing. And two, one more thing. The trilobite planted the baby thingy in the engineer, and a proto-alien form called the Deacon comes out. And, so what were the engineers running from? I think they're running from something, maybe the Deacon, because you hear when David plays the hologram back, there's a weird growling scream, and it's the same growling scream that the Deacon makes. So they were running from them. How? I don't know. Created. If you need humans to create the squid thing, which people have said, why wasn't it a baby xenomorph that popped out? Because it wasn't done the exact same way. You get a xenomorph from a facehugger attacking you and planting the seed inside you. What happened was David put the black goo in Holloway's champagne. He drank it. It got inside him. He fucked Shaw. Yes. He fucked Shaw. Yes! He screwed Shaw. Better? Okay. And then it got inside her, created that squid, and then that attached to the giant squid, by the way. That attached to the engineer and created the deacon. So without humans there, how could it be created? Well, it's simple. There used to be humans on that planet. That's the only explanation. And they set out to kill the humans, but they created deacons instead, and the deacons came after them. This isn't official canon, by the way. This is my thought process. That's all I can think of, is that they created humans on that planet, but the humans of that planet weren't as sophisticated as us humans now. And they went, they wanted to learn more and more and more like humans do. And maybe that's why they wanted to kill the humans. Maybe that's why, in this canon version, they want to kill the humans, because humans create the alien species. Maybe they, went looking, they found the goo, and went inside them, and it created the thing, which attached themselves to other engineers, which created the deacons. Boom, you got an explanation, huh? I don't mind this movie. I think it's pretty good. I'm going to give it a 7. I know it's not as best as some of the top tier Alien movies, but you know what? I'll give it an 8, because I enjoy this movie. Alien Covenant, I think I probably enjoy more. So maybe I'll keep the 7. It's a 7. 7. Keep the 7, because I think I like Alien Covenant more, but I'll find out in a little bit, because I'm gonna watch it. But yeah, this is a pretty good movie. I don't get a hate for it. If you look at it as a story told in the same universe as Alien in the earliest part of the timeline, and not try to think, oh, it should be a direct sequel and connect directly to Alien, you can see it. It's like X-Men First Class, right? That doesn't directly connect, but that is more of a direct sequel anyway with characters. But I'm just saying. So yeah, so what are your thoughts on Prometheus? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. I'll see you in the next one.